Good morning. Happy day. I thought I would get on here before I got into my full scale lawn routine today. It's only 9 a.m. where I'm at, but the grass is already dry. That tells you it's kind of dry out. We actually could probably use some rain. But that means I don't have to wait for the grass to dry, so I can start annoying my neighbors fairly early with the mower. I'm gonna go ahead and use my spooky wookie skirt Halloween deck again. Because, there's lots of spooky wookies out there and people that think they know everything, right? But one thing I do like about this deck is that it is a specifically standard deck that follows the Rider Waite. I got this like half off, you guys, when it was on. Which some of my other decks, just to kind of explain, like the ethereal visions, this has two additional major arcanas in it, so it's kind of a special deck, although I love it very much. Okay, it's not the same as the Rider Waite, and the same with this modern witch deck. This is a mini version. You can also get these in like bigger size cards. This mostly follows the Rider Waite. It does have an extra 10 of swords. So you guys, if you're shopping around for cards and stuff, just be aware of that. Like, I don't want to say it's stacking the deck, right? But every deck is a little bit different. So if you're looking for a true pull that follows the Rider Waite, make sure that the cards you get reflect that. Okay, you can look up Rider Waite on Google, or whatever your search engine is, and make sure that your deck has this when you buy it, or you can just go through and always remove the cards that you don't need for your reading if you want a true picture based on Rider Waite, okay? So that is my little disclaimer at the beginning of the video on tarot decks in general, okay? So, and a Rider Waite tarot is usually different than the Lenormand style. I don't do Lenormand style, okay? The cards have some different meanings. I have gotten a reading done that way before. But just if you're getting into it, do a little bit of research. You know what I mean? My friend's funny. Her text just popped up right as you know. She's got the travel bug in her, so we're trying to make some plans, but she's getting ready here. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm gonna do a Celtic cross for you guys today, so it might end up being around like a 30-minute reading. Okay, it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. So everybody, please do observe, standard practices in the chat. And just know that I do have my settings on that some comments may be held for review if they're questionable. And I can remove you from the chat or suspend you at any time. So I would advise that you don't worry about doing anything that needs that kind of thing. Page of Pentacles. Baron Samodi. Is that supposed to be a name? It's kind of funny, this page. He looks very fancy, right? But he's still a page. It's almost like he's overdoing it, right? Kind of like the street magician, like, hey, look at all my flash, and da 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 da, right? And it's like, yeah, I got some coin in my pocket too, Mr. Page. What do you think about that, right? You might be like, well, if you take this coin, it's gonna be extra fun, extra magical, and you're like, I don't know if it's for me, right? That's kind of what I'm getting from this right now. Let's see what's crossing it at the moment. There's also all these snakes around him. This is my Spirit Halloween deck, you guys. So, like I said, spooky wookie. Who is better, Messi or Ronaldo? I don't know who either of those people are. Judgment crossing. Yeah, so some people might feel like, they're really trying to like peacock for you right now, or really try and impress you, put on their best little duds and their best little lines, right? And be like, hey, right? Like, pay attention, like a little kid almost. Like you remember that when you're a little kid. Mom, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, right? It's kind of like that. And the judgment is here saying that, hmm, yeah, if you don't, if you don't get past this, like you ain't getting through, kind of thing. Okay. So you might have some spirit guides around you as well, helping you. Okay. You just joined. Well, thank you for subscribing if you just joined. I do appreciate any new subscriptions and likes. It helps pass around the messages to those who need them. Okay. So, collective, definitely pay attention to what your judgment, your discernment is trying to tell you about the situation. Okay, especially if somebody's appearing to you very flashy, saying, I have all the answers, look at me, yes, I am, right? Come on now, come on. Okay. I'm getting that movie, Face in the Crowd, if you've never seen that, um, played by the hometown sheriff, Andy. Anyway, can't think of all. It's old movie, and the guy had his own TV show. Anyway, you can look it up. I'm not gonna get into that right now. It's something I have on the tip of my tongue. You know what I mean? The Empress, Kali. Wow, you guys. Excuse me. Okay. I feel like instead of these people coming in and impressing you, what they're seeing out of you is how grounded you are, how much you can manage. Look at all of her arms, right? And that would be the Empress, right? The Empress might have a baby on one hip and she's cooking with the other hand, right? And then she's going to turn around here and pay a bill, right? Okay. Like, talk about the ultimate juggler, okay? So, whatever this stuff is, this wizardry, hey, I got a message for you. Oh, yeah? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, who cares? Is it going to pass the test? Is it going to pass this kind of test? To stand up to this? If it's not, you think Kali gives a royal flying leap? Okay? Because Kali is seated, right? That it's like, yeah, okay. So it's like Kali's sitting here and it's like all the. Did you ever see that movie like Godzilla where the planes are flying around? They're trying to distract Godzilla, right? Anyway, yeah, and unfortunately for some people, maybe people that have acted karmically, and maybe for some person in particular here, you can see the little head, it's not going to turn out well for them. Okay. And I was kind of getting this message earlier as I was listening to another reading, and it's kind of like that, if somebody thought that they were going to come back and try and woo you with some new finances, some new kind of message, some new kind of look, anything kind of new, right? This is like that, like old money versus new money. You know what I mean? Like where you can tell, like, yeah, they just won the lottery, like kind of money. Okay. Whether or not they even did is another story. Right. But down here, college, the Empress is like, well, that's great. You know how to spend money. Do you know how to save money? Do you know how to invest money? Do you know how to transform money? Do you know how to do good with money? Versus just spend, 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 spend. Right? Okay. And I feel like that's part of what this Kali is, then consuming her enemies and saying, I don't need that anymore, right? And maybe this could be somebody that stole perhaps from you in some kind of way. It could have stolen finances, could have stolen some kind of dignity, some kind of stability. So the person that says, baby, you just wouldn't believe it. My penis just fell into her over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then we did it again and again and again. And then I'd return the next evening and again. And right. It's not an accident. So now it's the time for the consequences. You might not like those consequences, right? If you're a karmic, because that's where they end up. And she ain't worried about nothing. She ain't worried about none of it. In fact, they're not making a sound, are they? So, I know I'm spending a lot of time on the beginning of this message, but it's important, you guys. So, whoever this is coming towards you. When they try to speak, they may not actually make any sound. You ever see that movie? You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Some people just don't get it. They be talking, and they ain't saying nothing. Ain't saying a damn thing. Yeah, okay. I think you know. That's too many cards here. This is a very, you see how shiny this deck is? It's very slick. So, some decks are like that when you're shuffling. It's like, What is in the recent history that this collective needs to know about this situation? Who were you dealing with? Who were you dealing with on demon time? That's the thing about these little entities. They think everything has to be on their time, right? You ever be around those people? It's like, oh, hey, can we stop here? And they're like, no. It's no discussion, no, but we're going to where they want to go, right? Oh, can we? No. It's all about their agenda, right? And if you don't realize what that agenda is, it's going to hold you down. See where his hands are at? He's trying to get you yet again to help him lift up. Will you just help me? Will you just help? Right? You ever hear of Ted Bundy? Will you just help me? Little lady, get inside my van. Help me lift something. F off, Bundy. Right? Okay. That's what you got to tell these people, essentially, because they're just wasting your time. Because the collective is not on demon time. And that's part of the judgment that's here. And collective, this is not only judgment that you already kind of have within you, it's also like the spiritual guidance that's here in a way to protect you. And that's why the 3 is here. Okay. That's why it's a 3-headed protection. Okay. So it can protect you from all sides, right? Like that eyes in the back of your head thing. Protection. Okay. People be like, oh, Kyle, the Empress, this Kylie, she's so bloodthirsty. Well, I don't know. What exactly did you do to deserve this? People will be, oh, they did this, they did that. I'm like, well, what bear did you poke to get yourself into that problem? How many whores did you pay off? How many women did you sleep with? How many men did you sleep with? Men or women, these days people be doing everybody, right? Oh, but they look so good doing it too, right? You think, oh man, that looks like fun. Yeah. You want to get up under them drawers by that snake? Probably some freaking crabs crawling up under there. You know what I'm saying? So when you get some protection, use it in more ways than one. I'm glad I could get this out to you guys before I'd probably be too wiped out after. At least today is supposed to be fairly nice yet. rest of the week where I'm at. It is heating up. The Four of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody wanted to question your stability. They wanted to make you into a position of lack where you are not. Because again, in your foundation, you have the Empress. This is also, you could have some Libra in your chart, okay? Capricorn as well with the Devil card. However, for those of you that are Earth signs, you're like, oh, you want me to do your work and not get paid for it? Fuck off. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I hear people complain about not getting tipped enough. Oh, I did this and they didn't tip me enough. Well, what if they just stole your entire paycheck? Would you like that? Are you speaking up about that for anybody? Or is it just about your little tip money that you didn't get that day? Okay? That's what they want you to be that's what they want you to be focused on. They want you to be focused on these little itty bitty things versus being able to stretch and reach. Okay? Coming up, the Seven of Wands, Mummy. Collective, I feel like for many of you, you might have some ideas under wraps, some things that you're not really disclosing yet, and that's okay. You know, it's almost like you're in this period of meditation, and it could almost be like the cocooning time when you're like, look, I have this really rough idea right now, and I'm going to marinate on it a little bit, and I'm going to, massage it a little bit. And then pretty soon, when it's revealed, it's going to be like really powerful. Who are you talking? Leanne, da 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 da. How do you say your name? Anyway, if you don't like me talking, get the hell out. You understand what I'm saying? It's not your message. So, sorry, y'all. I try not to watch the chat, honestly, because it's kind of distracting. That's one of the reasons why lives are a little touchy. And I don't have a moderator right now, so I have to moderate y'all bitches. Okay? So if you want the reading, behave in the chat. Okay? That's how it works. So, collective 10 of cups. Yeah, look at you, you little sea monsters. You're like, excuse me? Who's coming to take my 10 of cups? Well, how do you like this big scary eel that I just pulled out? And by the way, it has teeth, right? You're like the giant octopus or the giant squid, right? In 20,000 Leagues, and you're coming up and you're like, hey, excuse me, you thought you could grab that from me? Well, guess what? You're going to have to fight me for it. And in fact, you're not going to fight me for it in the physical world, in the 3D world. You're going to fight me for it in the spirit world. And guess who has my back up there? Oh, yeah, I got this guy too on the land. So if you're trying to come at me by sea, I got this guy on land. What do you think about that? What's your brilliant plan now? Did I mention you guys got the Empress? Okay. I know they are ambitious. Exactly. Some of these energies are very ambitious because you see how this like the streets are lined in gold. You see these people trying to skate by, you right? Okay. Some of them are going to make it, but some of them ain't. Okay. And that's not for you to determine, collective. That is, okay. That's when Jesus took the wheel a long time ago. Okay? Because they all made those decisions for themselves, right? And now the collective's like, whoa, that's pretty deep. Exactly. How deep is your love? Any port in a storm. Some people think you're that port in their storm, right? But it's a storm of their own making, right? And that's where it needs to stay, right? Back in the past. And until they let go of their greed here, they're going to stay that way. It's not for you to be trying to lift them up constantly, lifting them up, lifting them up. And here's the thing, collective, these are able bodied people. You'd be amazed the kind of things that they can do, like, play basketball against their 10-year-old nephews, right? And not injure themselves as adults, right? Oh, I can't go to work. I can't do, really? You can't? You don't want to. You don't want to, right? Well, doesn't everybody want to win the lottery? Well, all of us are born with gifts in this world, okay? It's up to us to listen for them and to develop them. And collective, I feel like you've done a very good job of that. Very good indeed. So what's up in your environment now? Oh, Mom Chakalaka! The sun! What's next after Cancer season? Leo, right? And here it says here, the Phoenix. So it's not only you're the sun, you're like, oh, you thought you blocked the sun out? Well, guess what? I'm the Phoenix coming back. Right? Like, oh, like it's coming over the pyramid, it's like that. Welcome. Okay? You guys, I crack myself up with the dramatics, but that is what, oh, thank you, Alex. That is what so these people, they're so dramatic. Like, I mean, this is a little side story. Now, granted, this was a Fish concert in the parking lot, but I was, like illegally, so I was trying to raise some money, for gas money or whatever. And I was selling some seltzers in the parking lot, and this one gal and her boyfriend come over, and she was, she just threw the biggest tantrum, was rolling around on the ground, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I've never met this woman before, so I'm like, what is going on? Well, after a while of that, and then, she like gets up and then just walks away. Okay. Some people do these dramatics, these things, right, to test us, right? And we have to recognize it for what it is at times, right? If you start running back to be helping these people, to do what even, right? When lo and behold, they just, right? It's like you didn't actually need my help, right? But what if somebody did, collective? Okay. And I think that's what you're starting to realize, is that some of these people that actually don't need help, right? They have been wasting your time and taking away from the help that you need to be giving, not only to yourself, but to the part of the collective that's looking to grow and expand, right? Okay. And that's why here you have this sun, this Phoenix, because you're looking at the ways to expand, right? You're not looking at ways to dig in to all that stuff, right? And not only expanding yourself, but expanding the love that has been granted to you here with this 10 of Cups. What do they say in that movie? And was it Pulp Fiction? And I will strike thee down with great vengeance. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Okay? Except you don't have to do anything. You just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? Well, these little fruit flies. Ace of Swords. Quetzalcoatl. I knew how to say this one. I think this is like an Aztec thing, actually. This name down here. Okay. But the Ace of Swords is about truth. Some people could be worried if you're gonna say a little too much truth about them, right? Or if you're going to believe their story, okay? Because again, they could be coming at you very flashy and you're like, "You know what? I've seen this before and it's kind of looking like a rerun to me, to be honest." Right? Libra, Gemini, Aquarius here. Okay. So, don't be afraid to call that out. They definitely don't want you to. I know that. But this is where they get it wrong every time. Um, they don't get to call the shots anymore, right? They could have been the shot caller. They could have been the point guard, right? Well, they got demoted. In fact, they might have gotten kicked off the team. They might have gotten kicked out of the whole stadium. They were metaphorically betting against the collective. Okay? And when you do things like that, it gets you kicked out. It gets you banned. I don't think I need to explain that to most people in the collective. Five of Swords, Angel. Wow. Okay. For some of you, you could just be finding out like the extent of people that have taken advantage of you, lied to you, what their true agendas are. Remember, I was talking about agendas earlier. Okay. But just like that Christina Aguilera song, right? You are beautiful, right? You're this angel. You are this angel kind of sent to hold the real truth up. And yeah, that's part of why you've risen to this position. They may not like it. That's okay. You weren't put in that position because of them, collective. You were put in that position because of the good qualities that you possess. Okay? So, everybody has their time, everybody has their decisions. And we can't change the past, right? And, as the collective goes forward, just recognize that angelic peace that you have of even though you may be alone sometimes on this journey, that you still know the truth. Nobody came by and was able to gaslight you today, right? No, they were not. Because you have the judgment of a higher power. You have the protection of the spirit realm. Okay? I highly recommend you guys look up your charts. Empress is associated with Libra, the Devil in the tarot, with Capricorn. Again, we have the Ace of Swords here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, big on communication as well. So you could have people coming towards you, communicating with you, not sure if they're going to be on your right side of the fence. Collective, but I don't know that you necessarily care about those conversations. And in fact, you may be long gone by the time that conversation happens or whatnot. So, anyway, yeah, it's kind of interesting energy coming out today. I'm just about at 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I feel like you guys need some light worker cards today because this is definitely reflecting somebody who's more of a light worker that's been, I would say, spiritually attacked by many people. Just as a reminder, all of us have light and dark within us. So if you are going through something like a dark night of the soul or something like that, it will end, right? You have brighter days ahead. And a lot of us realize after sometimes going through these things that your peace is worth, this is the Five of Swords, but look at how peaceful she is sitting here. Okay. Soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Yeah. So there may be people that think you're alone, but you're really not. Not only do you have your guides, you also have people in the collective. Okay. If you're ever uncertain about, things or whatever, hop onto one of these other tarot readings. Some of these people have tens of thousands of people on these videos. So collective, not everybody is out here. Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to do people dirty, but there's also a lot of people trying to do a lot of good things too. Okay. And so some of these other people watching these videos, that's part of, the soul family, right? People you may never even meet in the physical realm. But here it's saying that you can call these people into you. Okay. And when you're using your discernment, when you're using your guidance, the right people are going to come to you. It's like, well, some of my friends got drug problems. Some of my friends rob liquor stores. Well, is that what you want to be doing with yourself? I'm not saying you can't say hi to somebody passing them on the street, but that doesn't mean you need to participate in their behavior, right? There's a difference. There's a difference. And some people thought you were going to lay down and do these things. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution expression. Okay. So I feel like people are starting to hear your voice now, collective, especially with this Ace of Swords, right? You could be expressing yourself somehow, even if it's not like on some kind of platform. Just the fact that you're speaking, it pushes it out into the universe, okay? Remember how powerful that is, okay? So like when people, at school, like when you are going to give a speech, you rehearse your speech, right? So it is so that it becomes foundational to you, right? Like the Empress here, okay? Okay. Again, there are people that wanted you to think that your foundation was off, your foundation was wrong, your foundation was something other than what it was, right? They wanted people to see your foundation like this. Why would they want to do that, collective? Oh, well, maybe then they can just swoop right in and save the day for everybody, right? Is that how it works? They think the collective has forgotten. They say forgive and forget. I'm more of a forgive and never fucking forget a goddamn thing they ever said or did to you, right? They always say, you might not remember that person's name, but you'll never forget how they made you feel, right? And some people want you to be stuck in this bad feeling, right? Like, kind of like underneath this mummy, like, he's dead. They pulled his brains out. They did this to him. They did that. I mean, they want you to be thinking about all those little things that they did, right? They want you to be all tied up and all mad about it, right? But in the outcome here, collective, what have you done? There are no swords in your back. In fact, where those swords were, you were able to be like, oh, really? Well, can you just like pop in a wing right there? Thanks. Fly above the rain. Get up, get on. I love writing lyrics for songs, especially songs that I co-wrote the majority of. For any of my little karmics watching, right? Leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. There you go. The karmics want you to think that you need to pay attention to what they're doing. You don't. You don't have to respond to, well, they said that you don't have, you don't. You don't. All you have to do is continue doing what you were meant to do, which is rise and shine like the beautiful collective that you are. And if somebody is so burned by your shine, maybe they need to put on some sunscreen, okay? Right? Whatever I've been saying this whole reading, protection. You guys are protected. Call back your power. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. Yeah. Cutting the cords to the past energies, the past entities, the past demon time. You ever hear ain't nothing good going on after midnight? Right? Anyway, I'm over my 30-minute mark, so I think I'm all primed to go mow the grass after I finish my morning beverage here. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and it's not too hot where you are at. And if it is, please do stay hydrated and cool, as we are getting into the thick of summer. So until next time, please manifest wisely. Bye-bye.